What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Kreative. Go ahead, say it with me. We are back at it again to do what? To create something great. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I'm super excited what I have planned for y'all today. We're going to be going over the performance of our bots this week. And this week is week 19, running from May the 4th through May the 8th, 2026. So as you can see here by this big red number, we are down $44.58 for the week, right? And I'm looking at on Tuesday, the fleet dropped $118 just on Tuesday, right? And I want to talk about why that day was a little bit more important in the overall macro sense of the week. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. So let's talk about the top end numbers. So we're down 44 bucks for the week, but if you're looking at it week over week, we are up $111, right? Because last week we were down 156. Now the number of trades is still not as much as that we was wanted to be. Reason being so is because there's a couple of bugs that we are still working on being able to fix across our fleet. Now the win rate does look super attractive, but that win rate and the P&L is one of those things that is just a little bit of a disconnect. Looking at our bot leaderboard, we're looking and we're seeing that adxbaby is leading the way at making 15 bucks for this week. Then we have bagsbaby coming in and making $8.70, right? And our top four laggard bots, we had early worm, screening, calling, and star baby. These are just a couple of bots that we're going to be watching just to make sure that they can improve on their performance for week 20. So this week, I'm not going to hold you, started off rough, right? Monday was basically flat. Then Tuesday, the floor fell out. The fleet, because that happened on Tuesday, right? And I want to talk a little bit more about this skew flow, right? And just to be able to understand this put call skew, right? I want us to go ahead and jump into our glossary so we can talk about the terms. And this is going to be our put call skew. Now, what is a put call skew? It's whether more money is flowing into puts. If more money is flowing into puts, then we're going to be bearish. We're thinking the market is going to go down. But gang, if more money is flowing into calls, we're going to be a little bit more bullish, thinking the market is going to go up, right? And it's expressed as a percentage. So being able to look at it week over week, how the market has been doing just for this particular week, excuse me, not week over week, right? SPY the S&P 500, the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. As you can see for the week, it didn't push that much, right? It was pretty much in a bearish put zone this entire week, even though it was up 2.4% for the week, right? But the option contracts, the order flow was super bearish. So people was expecting, excuse me, a big drop that really didn't happen too much. Now we're looking at QQQ. We do see these bullish sentiments here, but as you can see, 3 out of the 5 days were a little bit more bearish. And then IWM, same pattern here. The start and the end of the week, we do have those bullish sentiments, but then in the middle of the week was crowded by the bears. So one thing to be able to highlight is that all the signals flipped put heavy, about negative 13% approximately, and our fleet that same day lost $118. Then we have QQQ divergence on Friday, rally 1.55%, but the order flow was negative 13%. Institutions heads, but they didn't chase. Right. So some of the economic events that happened this week, we have the non-farmers payroll that did drop. We were expecting 62%, but it did come in a little bit hotter at 115. Then we had ISM. We were expecting 73, but it did come in a little bit cooler at 70.7. And then we had the factory orders month over month. We were expecting 1.5, but it did come in a lot hotter at 1.5%. So let's go ahead and talk about the treasuries real quick, right? So we're looking at the 2 the 10 and the 2 the 10 spread. So we can see here the move worth about 5 bips and 7 bips down, and then the 10 over the 2, we're still looking at it unchanged. So let's go ahead and jump into our week to date performance for our fleet. So as like we talked about before, right, on Monday we did have pretty much a good day. right? We're looking at 70% win rate out of the 20 trades. We were able to win 14 of them. We lost 6, right? The total P&L, we're looking at 47 bucks. The VIX range was anywhere between 17 and 19%. And that PC ratio, right? PC ratio, put call ratio, anything above 1, we're going to have a little bit more of a bearish sentiment, right? And we're hovering about 1.21. So the market was expecting a little bit more of a bearish sentiment. So I'm glad that the bots were able to not only just profit, but do well above 50%, right? So taking a look at some of our bots, we had Midas do very well. I'm not going to hold you. This were some of the trades that it did, and it was batting 1,000, fam, right? Took 3 trades. Let's look at this call trade right here. So this is a bot that trades the S&P 500, the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. This bot was betting the SPY 722 level. So what does that mean? It was betting that SPY was going to pop the 722 level, so it was bullish on SPY. It went ahead and got in at 52. We submitted the order at 54, but we got in at 52, right? So negative 2 cent slippage. So that worked in our favor. And then we were able to get out at 78. So we made $26, but it took us 20 minutes for that trade. That's kind of crazy. But nonetheless, it still worked out in our favor, right? Then let's take a look at some of the bots that didn't perform too well, right? So let's look at bagsbaby. Bagsbaby took 1 trade, and that 1 trade lost them $21. So let's look at the end of the week. So we talked about Tuesday, right? Be damn near murderer's row, but there is still a couple of bots that did perform well on Tuesday, right? But damn near we were well under 50% for Tuesday. Let's look at how we closed the week. We're up $53 for the week. We did come in at 55% for the win rate. PC ratio was a little bit better, right? So as we can see here, as we're going towards the tail end of the week, it did go down less. I wonder what it was Tuesday. So it's still above 1. Oh, it's under 1, but we still lost that day. That was interesting. Let's go take a look at the trends real quick of our bots, right? So we can see Midas, baby, that is pulling up ahead when it comes to being able to be profitable as compared to last week. Last week, this bot lost just by itself $128. Now it's making 46. Last week, Screeny Baby B just made $1. Now it's making 27, right? Now we have early worm. Last week it was down 11. Now it's up 40 bucks. So as you can see here, there is progress that is coming, right? Now it's just a matter of being able to get it a little bit more fleet wide. Now I want to take a look at the year to date. Now year to date for our bots, we're down $2,000, 85 trading days. We had 26 of those 85 that was profitable, so about 31%. We had over 2,400 trades, right? And we're looking at our best day about 114, worst day 119. And we're looking at the month of May so far, where we have more green than red, bruv. Now it's just a matter of consistency, right? So I'm not going to hold you. I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to give y'all a update as far as how our bots are performing. And it's a marathon, not a sprint, bruv, right? So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. It is your boy Kreative, and I'll be back at it again with another episode.